Hello and welcome to Eastern Roman history. Married to the eldest unnamed daughter of Alexios I, Andronikos I Gidon ascended the throne of the Empire of Trebizond and renewed the peace treaty his predecessor had made with the Seljuk Sultan in the year 1222. In 1223, a ship containing the tithes, taxes, and Archon of the Crimea were caught in a storm and had to stop in Sinope. The city's governor, Hetum, threw the Archon and the ship's crew in prison, then confiscated the ship's cargo and the ship itself. Hetum escalated events when he launched ships to attack and raid Cherson in the Crimea. Andronikos responded by sending the Trebizuntine navy against Sinope. The sailors attacked the harbour, killed and captured many of their crews, and devastated the countryside around the city. The Trebizuntines exchanged the prisoners they had taken for everything that Hetum had stolen. The success of the Trebizuntines caused the Seljuk Sultan Melik to launch a massive invasion of Trebizond with the intention of conquering the city. Andronikos responded appropriately. He fortified the passes toward the city and gathered the provincials into its walls. As Melik's vanguard advanced, Andronikos I, Theodore the Polemarch, and George Akrivitsiotis led an army and defeated the Turkish vanguard. Andronikos then withdrew his forces into Trebizond, since the mountain fortress was difficult to attack. Melik besieged the city and burned everything around it. Melik assaulted the walls facing the sea, but was repulsed when Andronikos led a sally against the attackers. Andronikos pursued the routing Turks and plundered their siege camp. Hetum, the governor of Sinope, was killed in the sally. Later, Melik ordered his army to attack the city again. This Turkish assault was also defeated. Andronikos I invited Melik to sue for peace. Melik sent ambassadors into Trebizond who reported back to him that the city was still brimming with supplies and the only way to take it would be by assault. Melik, trusting to the favourable signs of his astrologers, launched a night attack on Trebizond. That same night, the attackers were bogged down by torrential rain and thunderstorms, which prevented them from attacking. In the dark, some of the Seljuks rode off hidden cliffs, and others drowned or were dragged away by the torrents. Melik's army had been virtually destroyed and he decided to pull back. However, he was captured at Merzuka by Trebizuntine mountaineers during his withdrawal. A chapel to St. Eugenios was erected to mark the spot of the Sultan's capture. With the Sultan's capture and the near total annihilation of the Sultan's massive army, Andronikos exacted the following terms. Trebizond's vassalage to the Turks was annulled, and Trebizond was no longer obligated to send the Sultan troops or tribute. In essence, this treaty completely reversed the one that Sultan Kaikobad had made with Alexios I in 1214. The moderation of these terms impressed Melik so much that he sent an annual tribute of Arab horses and money to the monastery of St. Eugenius and the Church of the Golden-Headed Virgin in the Empire of Trebizond. Andronikos' victory over the Turks was so decisive that he attributed the storm which had been largely responsible for his victory to St. Eugenius and avidly pursued his veneration. This cult became the most important saint in the Empire of Trebizond because of Andronikos I. In 1229, Andronikos wanted to exploit the conflict between the exiled Persian Shah, Jalal al-Din, and the Seljuk Sultan. Andronikos made an alliance with the Shah against the Seljuks, perhaps in the hopes of conquering new territories as well as placate the bellicose Persians. Sending an army with the Persians, the allies were defeated by the Turks at the Battle of Yassi Chemen on the 10th to 12th of August 1230. This defeat allowed the Seljuks to reimpose the vassal status Trebizond had been in before 1223. Vincent de Beauvais in 1240 reported that Trebizond provided 200 lances or 1,000 soldiers to the Seljuk Sultan's army, suggesting the type of tribute the Seljuks exacted from Trebizond. Meanwhile, the Mongols occupied the region of Lazica on the Empire of Trebizond's eastern frontier as they pushed into the Pontic and Caucasus region. of Andronikos I's internal measures, we know that he minted bronze coins called skyphates, which was the first instance of a Trebizuntine ruler minting bronze coins. In 1232, Andronikos probably made John Grand Komnenos co-emperor, making him the official heir. In AD 1234, Andronikos I Gidon died. Andronikos does not seem to have had any children with his wife, and so the throne passed to Alexios I's eldest son, John I Grand Komnenos Ajoukos. To assess the reign of Andronikos I, we see the continual survival of the Empire of Trebizond after the death of its founder, Alexios I. How and why a son-in-law became emperor instead of Alexios' natural son is unknown. It has even been speculated that Andronikos I Gidon is the same man as Andronikos Gaidos, who was the Nicaean commander at the Battle of the Rough Ways in 1206. The largely successful career of Andronikos easily explains why he was eventually chosen, since he was able to defeat the hostile advances of the Turks at every turn, and although he made an error in trying to back the Persian pretender, his humble diplomacy and military might preserved his empire through difficult and uncertain times. Please do remember to like and subscribe, and this has been Eastern Roman History.